Hi, everybody. It's Craig and Arun back with your NFL Week 10 Sunday action of picks, November. Nice games. Of course, we like all these games. Of course we do. This is what we're giving you our leans on every play. Some of these are actually making our premium card if you follow along. But if you get in on our premium cards, 2 for 1 for the price of 1. So get all the football picks for both college football and the NFL for a week. Both of us for just $99. It's usually $99 each of us. So docsports.com/Craig Arun. FYI, going to have an 8-unit college football play game of the year going this weekend. That will be included in that. And also a 7-unit for me. And I know IC will have one of his 6 plays will be a 6 or 7 unit, probably 7-unit, right? IC?
Yeah, we've had back-to-back winning weeks, or I should say back-to-back winning 7-unit selections. We had North Texas routing Navy, 7-unit winner last week on college football week number, or NFL week number 9. We had Virginia Tech getting it done over Cal the week before, so back-to-back 7-unit winners.
All right. Also, if you want to get the extra selections, these are YouTube premium level 1, 2, or 3. If you get in on 3, you get all of them. You will get about $2,700 to $3,000 worth of picks if you bought them individually at the website, including one every day for my premium plays every day will be in that level 3. Also, parlays, props, all kinds of extra sides and totals. Make sure you get in them. Okay, IC, let's start us off. Your Atlanta Falcons, you get your own team at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts did lose last week, so just 7-2 now. Still 6-3 against spreads, against spread darlings. Colts favored by 6, total 48.5. What do you like?
Well, a lot of pressure on Raheem Morris here. This team is 3-5 now. The Colts are, of course, 7-2 out of the gates. And they're doing great. The Colts do have the Chiefs on deck. And, look, the Colts come off of a loss, so they're going to be pissed off coming in. They were down 7-17. This was a big reality check for the Colts. They were able to stop the Pittsburgh rush to 38 yards. But, it was a game where they, had nearly 400 yards of total offense. And Pittsburgh only had 210 yards of total offense. And yet Pittsburgh still won. And Pittsburgh was in the red zone. They were only 3 out of 6 in the end zone, in the red zone as well. So that was a brutal game for Indianapolis to take. Part of the reason is Daniel Jones, of course, finally had 3 interceptions. And I think that was the real big difference, right? Turnovers are just a big, big no-no. Having said that, Atlanta comes into this game. Really tough loss against New England. It was a game that Raheem Morris said that New England used shady tactics, but when has that ever been when has that not been the case? It was a game where Atlanta was, I felt like they played great. They were right there, and they made a big comeback near the end, but just wasn't enough. I thought Penix did great, 221 and 3 touchdowns. I got to be honest with you. I think Indianapolis will play better, obviously, in this game. But I also want to say Indianapolis has not beaten really good teams yet, right? Their one exception was against Denver, but I also think Denver was just kind of green, and they didn't know what Indianapolis was running. All the other games, they lost to LA Rams. They beat Vegas, Arizona, all sub-500 teams. The Chargers are struggling right now, too. They beat the Titans. I think this is a game where the Atlanta Falcons absolutely have to win, Craig. They just have to win. I mean, there's talks that Raheem Morris might get the hook after this year. They absolutely have to win here, and they have to show up, and I think they probably do. I'm going to take the Falcons plus the 6. Craig, the Bills here, 9.5-point chalk against Buffalo. If you remember, these two teams have already met, and Buffalo won 31-21 last time. Buffalo comes off a nice win against Kansas City, where they were actually a home dog, and they ended up winning back-to-back wins for them. Miami, of course, beat the Falcons, then turned around and lose to the Ravens 6-28 on primetime football as a 7.5-point dog. What do you like here as the Bills are favored by 9.5?
Yeah, I mean, the news come out that the Dolphins are going to wait till the end of the season to not to decide what the fate of McDaniels is. Obviously, they're going to fire him. It's just a matter of they're not going to do it mid-season. Did fire their GM, and I think it's deserving. This team is kind of like rudderless. They just don't look like they have like how they're going to win games. Like that has to be clearly from the top down. What is your your methods and your theories? And it just looks like from week to week, it just changes. The Bills are in a big letdown spot after you beat Kansas City, the big rival. But I don't think that matters. I just think the Dolphins don't have a lot to go. This is trade deadline. We're filming this on late Tuesday, so we won't know if Waddle gets traded, which has been a rumor. I kind of think he'll probably not get traded. But either way, I don't think what matters. I'm taking Buffalo minus 9.5. It's a little bit of a homer pick. I know 69% of the public are on it. I just don't see how the Dolphins stop this run game. The run game for Buffalo is just going to run right down the throat of this Miami team. Give me Buffalo minus 9.5. Next game, really good game. I think 2 of the hotter teams in the league. You got the New England Patriots 7-2. You got the Tampa Bay Bucks 6-2. Bucks are favored by 2.5, total 48. Can New England stay hot on this winning streak?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Patriots are 7-2, right? So they have beaten Atlanta, Cleveland, Tennessee, New Orleans, Buffalo, and Carolina. And I'm probably most impressed with that Carolina Buffalo win. I am impressed with the Falcons win. They were leading cover to cover. They were leading, from beginning to end, and then the Falcons, of course, came back to cover that game. Look, Tampa Bay comes into this game, beating New Orleans 23-3, but Tampa Bay has had a tendency to struggle against good teams at times, such as losing to Detroit and losing to Philadelphia. 72% of the public is riding Tampa Bay too, which is a little scary as well. Keep in mind that you have a Tampa Bay team that only passed for 124 yards last game. And, you had New Orleans who had a QB battle going on with each quarterback basically passing for about 150 yards. I think what happens here is this game probably goes over the posted total. I do like New England being an active dog. I don't think Tampa Bay is going to have a strong defensive effort like they did last time, holding the Saints to 3 points. Same team that gave up, 24 points to Lions or 35 points to Seahawks. I don't trust this Bucs defense completely. I also think the Patriots, sort of had a letdown against the Falcons. They didn't put up a lot of points. They put up 24 points, which was the lowest output in 3 weeks. I'm going to take the over here between the Patriots and the Buccaneers.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on all the great content we have here at Doc Sports.
Craig, the Browns come in as a 2.5-point dog to the Jets. The Browns are 2-6. The Jets are 1-7. The Browns lost to the Patriots 13-32 back on October the 26th, so they've had some time here. The Jets come into this game, back on October 26th, beating the Cincinnati Bengals 39-38 after their owner called out Justin Fields, which was pretty uncalled for, but 23-7. Fourth quarter for the Jets and that big comeback win. What do you think happens here? You think the Jets continued their good vibes coming off that big win?
Well, for once, a bye maybe doesn't help a team. I'm sure, like after you win, and you get your first win after 6 or 7 losses in a row, you'd like to kind of go back and battle again the next week. But they do get healthier. But I don't think they're going to have the same luck against that great pass rush of Myles Garrett and company of this Browns. Now, the Browns are 0-4 straight up and against the spread on the road. So they haven't been great on the road, but they haven't faced the Jets. And that's always like the great elixir. A lot of times it's just face worse teams, less competition, you play better. I like the Browns to win outright here. I'm not even taking the points. I think the Browns win. Next game, Ravens and the Vikings, really good win, upsetting the Lions last week for the Vikings. Ravens they got back Lamar last week. Now they get an extended rest period since they played on Thursday. Baltimore's favored by 4, total 49. What do you like here?
Yeah, big win by the Vikings, right? Winning 27-24, and McCarthy came through for them. 14 for 25, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Obviously, that's not overly impressive. But the difference was they were able to rush for 142 yards, and they held Detroit to 65 rushing yards. And that was the difference. Baltimore comes off big wins against Miami and Chicago. Minnesota, that was their first win in about 3 weeks. So Minnesota is still 4-4. They're still in the hunt here. Baltimore is still 3-5 here. I like the Ravens here. I think at the end of the day, I don't trust Minnesota. Minnesota did win against Detroit because they were able to stop their rushing. It's going to be a lot harder to stop the Ravens rushing attack here for sure. And I think the Ravens, if they can win against the Bears, who I think are not a bad team with Huntley, and had a huge win against Miami as well. I think they took the pedal off too. They rushed for 150 on Miami. I like Baltimore. I don't trust the Vikings at all here, coming off a nice win at Detroit on the road. I'm going to back the Ravens minus the 4. Craig, the Giants here are 3.5-point dogs to the Bears. Giants are 2-7. Obviously lost Scatterboo for the year. The Bears are 5-3 now. The Giants, of course, have lost 3 in a row, including a 10-point loss to the Niners last game. The Bears come off an exciting 47-42 win over the Bengals. They've quietly covered 5 of their last 6. Who do you like here?
Yeah, the Bears defense is licking their wounds a little bit because, they didn't win them the game last week. They just faced a bad Bengals defense, and the Bears got the ball last and scored. So they're like kind of patting themselves on the back. Like, whoa. You gave up 40-plus points to Joe Flacco, 40-year-old Joe Flacco. They do have a lot of talent. I get my Bengals have a lot of offensive talent, but to me, they couldn't get a lot of pass rush. So can Dart take advantage of it? Like, I wish Scatterboo was playing because I would take the Giants for sure in this game. I just think he was a difference maker. He is like a mindset where it's like, we're physical, we're going to take it to you. And by the fourth quarter, people don't want to stand in front of him. Unfortunately, they really don't have another person to put in there for that. I would buy the 0.5 point and take the Bears minus 3. I just think the Bears at home, they're 2-1 straight up and against spread at home. The Giants haven't won a road game yet, and they're just 2-3 against the spread. So give me the Bears by the 0.5 point to get it down to the key number of 3. Jaguars at the Texans. Sounds like, I'm guessing CJ Stroud, with the way the line is probably not playing. They could not move the ball once he went out, and the Broncos beat them late. Jags, I just don't know what to expect of this Jags team. They're 5-3 on the year. Kind of a must win. Whoever wins this game is going to take a huge step forward, probably to at least get in a potential wild card. Houston's favored by 1, total 38. What do you like?
Yeah, Stroud, he's in concussion protocol right now. His status is uncertain right now. He did say, or DeMarco Ryans, head coach Ryan, said that he is feeling a little bit better. He remains questionable, of course. But so we'll see what happens if he plays or not. Having said that, it's still pretty hard to come back from that right away. The Jags, of course, come off a huge win against Vegas in a game where they honestly did not play that great. They ended up winning that contest because their kicker can basically kick from 100 yards, which is insane. But this team, you have, again, you're right about Trevor Lawrence, man. It's amazing that how much Coach Cohen is able to win with a guy that passed for 220 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception, and he still is able to score 30 points with this guy. Just incredible. Imagine if he actually had some decent talent there. And maybe in the future they'll get rid of Lawrence. I would not be surprised.
They did get a trade. They got Jacoby Myers for receiver today, actually. So maybe that helps a little extra weapons.
Possibly. And keep in mind, Houston, that 11-0 comeback in the fourth quarter by the Broncos, that's going to have to really sting, man. This team, if they win that game, they're 4-4. Now they're 3-5. And I got to tell you, the last time these two teams met, Jags already beat them 17-10. So Coach Cohen is pretty sharp when it comes to facing teams the last couple of times. A lot of this depends, obviously, on if our man here, CJ Stroud, comes back. Notice the total sits at 38, which is just remarkable, because it is so low. I will tell you that I'm going to take the Jaguars here. I mean, you give me a healthy team coming off good vibes, a divisional game. I think the Jags will be up for this game. So I'm going to think about this. You had the Jaguars here, and I know some of this has to do with CJ Stroud, but the Texans are basically what the Texans come into this game as a 1-point favorite against the Jaguars, but they were a 2.5-point favorite against the Broncos, right? I think I'm going to take the Jags here, plus the 1. How's it? Sign up for our free $60 of the premium selections, which is docsports.com/ICCT. You get free $60 of the premium selections so you can try us out. It's the best way to kind of thank us for all the hard work that we do, along with liking and subscribing and joining on YouTube Premium. Craig, New Orleans here, plus 5.5-point dog against Carolina. New Orleans is 1-8, and of course, my 8-unit future looks pretty darn good. By the way, before I forget, the 2-for-1 deal with Craig and I, $99. You get all of our football packages for Craig and me, which should cost you $99 for each of us, but you're getting both of us for $99 only on this video. You will not find this anywhere else except on this video at this link right here. That's where the discounted packages are. And, of course, YouTube Premium, that is truly the edge. If you really want an edge over everybody else, you jump on Lenny for level 1. You jump on me for level 2 with an extra 200 selections, an extra video every single day, which I'm on a 3-0 YouTube Premium run, 3 straight winning days. And then with Craig, you get 3 premium plays worth $90 per day, but you get the whole month for $50 for the entire month. And you get both of our levels included in there, too. So be sure to jump on that. But again, getting back to the Saints game here, look, they lost to the Rams 10-34. The Saints have lost 4 in a row, Craig. And so my 8-unit future looks pretty good. They've lost 4 straight covers in a row. Carolina, of course, comes off a big win against Green Bay, 16-13. What a monster win for Carolina, right? And that defense for Carolina is just nasty. Craig, I'm just going to tell you that I am going to lean on the over in this game. I just kept talking there. Yeah, I did. You're right. Jags Texans. You don't have to cut this out. Just put it there. I like the over in this game. Craig, what do you like in this game?
I like it prop. Rico to Dowdell. When Hubbard came back, people thought he would get less carries. They've split the carries a little bit. It doesn't matter. He's still rushing for 50+ in every game. His over yardage is for rushing is usually in that mid-50s. It hasn't came out yet. Dude, unless it's over 70 or something, I'm taking the over Dowdell. He's absolutely a difference maker. He's the difference between this offense and last year. Bryce Young hasn't put up that much better stats. In fact, you read those stats off what he did against Green Bay. They won despite him. He just maybe not turning the ball over as much, but I like Dowdell over his rushing yards prop. I think he has a big game today. Now, next game for you, we go back to
Arizona, Seattle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Next game for you, we got Arizona at Seattle. Arizona, big win on Monday Night Football against the Cowboys defense that is terrible. Seattle, huge win this past week. I mean, don't look now. Seattle's 6-2, both straight up and against the spread. They are favored by 6.5, total 45.5. Pretty big matchup here. If Seattle wins this, kind of look what they have ahead. They have a real good chance to win their division.
Yeah, Craig, I'm gonna back Arizona. I'm gonna keep it simple here. When Arizona faced them last time, September 25th, Seattle beat them by 3 points. Okay, Seattle comes off their biggest win of the year, arguably, winning by 24 points. Since their win against New Orleans, this is their second biggest win of the year. I like Arizona here. They covered against 3 in a row. They nearly beat the Colts. They nearly beat Green Bay. They did beat Dallas. As soon as they got themselves a quarterback, they're able to move the ball and do what they need to do. They have good skilled players. Arizona has the revenge. Great public fade. Seattle also has LA on deck, too. I think they're going to be looking ahead. Give me Arizona plus the 6.5 for a game where I think they can hang tough in a divisional game. All right, Craig, the Lions here on the road, 81% back in the Lions here, 81%, 8.5-point favorite against Washington. Washington is just – they're just fading away fast, man. They're 3-6. The Lions, of course, coming off that loss to Minnesota, 24-27, losing to McCarthy. They're going to be ticked off. Washington got throttled by Seattle, 14-38. What do you like here?
Yeah, no Daniels in this one. Dan Quinn took responsibility as he should. They were getting killed. Why they had him in the game, but Daniels looks like potentially could a dislocated elbow, could be out for the season. So after that great year last year, Washington really, really struggling. Mariota, we've seen him several games already. What has he started? 3, I believe, already. And he did get one big win, but the other 2, not so much. And you're facing a Detroit team that's pretty upset. Not a defense that you would want to face like this. They can't stop the run. Washington couldn't. This is the best running team, in my opinion, in football, even though they didn't do it last week. I think they do it this week. Give me Detroit minus 8.5. Also like them in the first half. We're probably going to play both, by the way. So make sure you get in on that. Next game, Rams and the 49ers. And we already talked about Seattle. I think Seattle has a good chance to at least win that game, maybe not cover. But if they do so, I mean, the winner of this game, they're going to be basically tied with them. Rams favored by 3.5. Total 50 at San Francisco. What do you like here?
Yeah, I like the Rams for sure. This is a game that the Rams lost in overtime. If you remember, they lost to our boy Mac Jones, right? In overtime when he passed for 342 on primetime football and 2 touchdowns against the Rams. And Stafford, passed for 389 and 3 touchdowns. They ended up losing in overtime, and that's gonna really tick this team off. They started slow. They were down 17-7. It
was a fumble in the red zone, right? Remember that he was getting ready to go in. The fumble, that really was the difference. That if people didn't watch the game.
Yeah, and San Fran, they, had 40 minutes of possession compared to 26 or so for the Rams. And I think this is a game the Rams are not going to let up here. I think I like them here. I know they come off a huge win against the Jaguars 2 weeks prior. Keep that in mind, too. Ever since that Niners loss, they reeled off 3 wins in a row. So they'll remember this Niners loss for certain. San Fran, of course, comes off that nice win against the Giants, but they still gave up 24 points to the Giants without Scadaboo. They gave up 26 points to the Texans. They've given up 30 to the Tampa Bay Bucks. There's some gaps here in this team that's going to get exposed, I think. I'm going to back the Rams. Craig, Pittsburgh 3-point dog here against the Chargers. Pittsburgh, of course, comes off that exciting big win against Indianapolis, 27-20. They're 5-3. Chargers are 20. They beat the Titans 27-20. Did not cover though. They're sitting at 6-3 right now. The Chargers have not. They did beat Minnesota. They did beat Tennessee, but both of them were pretty weak. Minnesota didn't have McCarthy that game. What do you think happens here? You think the Steelers can come in and win this game on the road?
The difference this team, the Chargers team, is turnovers. Can they avoid the turnover against, the reason why the Colts didn't beat the Steelers was turnovers for Daniel Jones. Can they avoid that? Because if you don't, you give Pittsburgh, I think it's an above average offense. You give them with Aaron Rodgers and company, you give them extra chances, they're going to beat you. So that's really what you have to decide if they can do so. For me, this is a Chargers team that's 1-6 against the spread. The 8th game back, they pushed. So they really have covered 1 game of their last 8 and a push in there. So I just have to lean towards the Steelers. This isn't going to be a crazy strong play for me because I just think it's a really tight game. I think the field goal might matter. But I think at worst, we get to push. I think it comes down to a field goal at the end, one way or the other. So give me Pittsburgh +3 in this one. Maybe wait till game time. Maybe it sneaks and we get 3.5, and then that would be a much stronger play. But as of we're filming this, it's pretty even action as far as the spread. 60, I see at one spot 60-40, another spot 65-35. So depending on which spot you believe. All right, so that's what we have for our games for today. Don't forget, get on that 2-for-1 pass. This week, I've got an 8-unit game of the year in college football. It is included in this pass, so that alone is $30. IC's alone, a top play, is a 7-unit. It's $30.
I'll have an 8-unit this week too, Craig, in the NFL.
So there you go. So you're getting $60 for another $39. You get all the plays. So it will be a total of 13 to 14 plays. DocSports.com/Craig Arun. And make sure you get in on that today. Also, if you want to get on extra plays and you like more than just a couple plays per day, this is a great spot to do so, because for $49.99 a month, you're going to get like 400 or 500 plays, a couple hundred from IC, 3 or 4 from me every day, and then a couple from Lenny as well. And they're all included in that level pricing for just $49.99 a month. Click the link in the description to get in. All right, guys, have a great day. Good luck to you. Get in on our double 8-unit week. You probably rare will ever have our 8 units on the same weekend. So that's like
very, very rare.